Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to introduce you to this wonderful journey into the timeless art of hand sewing. Today, we'll explore a comprehensive guide to help you get started. The title of our presentation is Stitching Tutorial for Beginners, Your First Steps in Hand Sewing. Over the next few slides, we'll cover everything from basic techniques to creating your own handmade gifts. Whether you're here to make simple repairs or to discover a new creative hobby, I promise you'll leave feeling confident and inspired. So let's dive in and start stitching. Getting started with sewing is an exciting journey, and this first chapter is all about laying a solid foundation. We'll explore the essential skills and mindset needed to begin sewing with confidence. Whether you're a complete beginner or just brushing up on the basics, understanding these key points will set you up for success. We'll talk about the importance of having the right tools, being patient with yourself, and practicing regularly. Remember, sewing is as much about enjoying the process as it is about creating beautiful projects. So, as we go through this chapter, keep in mind that every stitch you learn brings you closer to mastering this craft and expressing your creativity. Let's talk about developing core techniques that truly translate across all sewing types. Whether you're into quilting or garment construction, these foundational skills are essential. By mastering them, you'll be able to handle a wide variety of projects with confidence. This foundation is what allows you to adapt and create seamlessly, no matter what kind of sewing you're doing. Moving on, building a strong foundation means you can master essential repairs, like fixing a torn seam or replacing a zipper, saving you time and money. It also opens up opportunities for creating unique crafts, from personalized home decor to one-of-a-kind gifts. And with these skills, you can confidently tackle creative projects, knowing you have the tools to execute your ideas with precision. Now let's talk about practical skills. The beauty of hand sewing is that you don't need a machine. You can sew anywhere, whether you're traveling, working on outdoor projects, or just relaxing at home. It offers incredible flexibility and freedom. You're not tied to a machine. Instead, you have the ability to work on your projects anytime, anywhere. This portability is a huge advantage, especially for those who love to sew on the go or enjoy spontaneous crafting sessions. So, why learn hand sewing? Because it empowers you with versatile, practical skills that enhance your overall sewing experience. It's about building confidence, expanding your creative possibilities, and gaining the freedom to sew whenever and wherever inspiration strikes. All right, let's talk about some core sewing supplies that are essential for any project. First up is the measuring tape. This might seem simple, but ensuring accurate measurements is key to getting your project just right. Without precise measurements, everything else can go off track, so keep that tape handy. Next, we have the seam ripper. Think of it as your best friend when you make a mistake. It's invaluable for fixing errors without damaging your fabric. Then there's the needle threader, which makes threading needles effortless, especially when your eyesight isn't as sharp or when dealing with tiny eyelets. Pins are another must-have. They hold your fabric pieces together securely while you're sewing, making the process much smoother. Moving on to some helpful extras, scissors are really important. Sharp fabric shears for cutting your fabric cleanly, and small snips for trimming threads. For thread, I recommend a good all-purpose polyester thread. It's strong and versatile, perfect for beginners. As for needles, use sharps for most general sewing and embroidery needles when working with thicker threads or decorative stitches. These core supplies form the foundation of your sewing toolkit, and having them ready will set you up for success throughout your projects. A well-organized sewing kit is really the foundation of a successful sewing experience. It keeps all your essential tools within easy reach, so you're not wasting time searching for that missing needle or thread. Starting with the basics, like needles, pins, scissors, and some thread, ensures you're prepared for most simple projects. As you get more comfortable and explore new techniques, you can expand your collection with specialized tools or accessories. This way, your sewing kit grows alongside your skills, making each project smoother and more enjoyable. Remember, a tidy, accessible kit helps keep your focus on creating rather than hunting for tools, which is really key to developing your confidence and proficiency in sewing. Now, let's move on to tying a double knot at the long end of your thread. This step is crucial because it prevents the thread from pulling through the fabric as you sew, ensuring your stitches stay secure. Once your knot is in place, you'll want to secure it well so it doesn't come undone mid-project. Next, we'll thread the needle. Push the thread through the eye of the needle and pull about 5 inches of thread through to the other side. If you find it tricky to get the thread through the eye, don't hesitate to use a needle threader. It's a handy tool that makes this step much easier. Before threading, it's a good idea to prepare the tip of your thread. Wet or lick the tip of the thread to smooth the fibers together, which helps the thread slide through the needle eye more easily. This little trick can save you a lot of frustration, especially if you're just starting out. Finally, measure out a length of thread between 20 to 25 inches. Use sharp scissors to cut it, creating a clean, crisp end. A neat cut helps the thread pass smoothly through the needle eye, making your sewing experience more efficient and enjoyable. Remember, mastering these initial steps sets a solid foundation for all your sewing projects, making the process smoother and more enjoyable. Welcome to Mastering Basic Stitches, everyone. In this chapter, we're going to focus on the foundational stitches that form the backbone of all sewing projects. These basic stitches are essential because they set the stage for more complex techniques later on. As you become comfortable with these, you'll find that your confidence and precision will improve significantly. We'll cover the key stitches you need to know, practice tips, and how these stitches connect to the overall theme of sewing mastery. Remember, mastering these basics is crucial because they are the building blocks for every sewing project you'll undertake. So, let's dive in and get started with the fundamentals that will support your sewing journey. Let's talk about a practical tip to get started with hand sewing. Begin by taking some scrap fabric and sewing a straight line across it. The key here is to concentrate on keeping your stitches even in both length and spacing. This attention to detail will really help you achieve a professional-looking finish on your projects. Now, the running stitch is really your gateway into hand sewing. It's a simple, versatile stitch that moves in and out along the fabric edge in a straight line. Think of it as the foundation for many sewing techniques. It's perfect for creating basic seams, gathering fabric to add shape, or even basting pieces together temporarily while you work on your project. Remember, mastering this stitch gives you a solid base that you can build on as you progress. Focus on consistency and control, and you'll find that your sewing becomes more precise and enjoyable. Let's try sewing a small square or rectangle using backstitch around all 4 sides. This is a great way to build muscle memory and improve stitch consistency, which is essential for neat, durable sewing. I recommend practicing this regularly because it really helps you develop a steady hand and even stitches. Now, this technique is especially ideal for seams that need to be strong and durable, like those that will be turned inside out or will experience stress and tension during use. It's perfect for areas where reliability is key. When you look at the stitches from the right side, backstitch creates a continuous, unbroken line of stitching that resembles machine sewing. It looks clean and professional while providing that extra strength. So, to sum up, backstitch is your go-to for strong and secure seams. It's a fundamental skill that, once mastered, makes your sewing both durable and visually appealing. All right, now it's time for a practice challenge. I want you to close a small fabric gap on a practice piece and see how well you can hide the stitches. This will give you a hands-on feel for how effective the slip stitch can be. Here, how it works. The needle slides through the folded edge of the fabric, catching just a few threads from each side. The beauty of this technique is that the stitches stay hidden inside those folds, making the closure almost magical in its invisibility. The slip stitch is a nearly invisible technique that creates a seamless finish. It's perfect for hemming garments, closing pillow openings, or attaching bindings. The key is that the stitches hide within the fabric folds, so they're not visible from the outside. This is really the secret to creating invisible seams. You can finish your projects with a clean, professional look every time. Remember, the slip stitch is all about making your work look neat and seamless, which ties into the overall theme of mastering fine finishing techniques. Both stitches serve practical purposes, but they also add a touch of personality to your projects. It's a great idea to practice each one on fabric scraps first, so you can see how they work with different materials and project types. The decorative edge stitch creates a beautiful, looped finish that's especially popular for felt projects, applique, and adding visual interest to edges. On the other hand, the blanket stitch is a quick and effective way to finish raw fabric edges. It wraps thread around the edge, helping to prevent fraying, and the stitches spiral diagonally around the edge for a neat look. When you combine whip stitches and blanket stitches, you get versatile options for edging and finishing your projects with both style and durability. Remember, experimenting with these stitches on scrap fabric will help you discover which works best for your specific projects. The blanket stitch really does more than just finish an edge. It transforms it into a decorative feature that enhances the overall look of your project. Notice how the thread creates these uniform loops along the fabric edge. It's this repetitive, even stitching that adds a charming, handcrafted detail. But it's not just about aesthetics. This stitch also strengthens the edge, making your project more durable. As we've talked about throughout this presentation, combining function and beauty is key in handmade crafts. So, the blanket stitch beautifully exemplifies that balance, giving your projects both visual appeal and added strength. Welcome to Tips and Tricks for Beginners. In this chapter, I want to share some practical advice to help you get started confidently. First, it's important to understand that mastering any new skill takes patience and practice. Don't be discouraged by initial setbacks. They're just part of the learning process. Next, I recommend breaking down complex tasks into smaller, manageable steps. This makes the overall goal less overwhelming and helps you stay motivated. Also, remember to ask questions and seek feedback. This is how you improve faster. Connecting these tips to the broader theme of this presentation, it's all about building a strong foundation. The more you practice and stay curious, the more natural these skills will become. So stay committed, keep experimenting, and don't be afraid to make mistakes along the way. When you make a mistake, don't worry. Use a seam ripper carefully to remove the incorrect stitches. Gently slide the sharp point under the thread and cut it. Remember, mistakes are just opportunities to learn and improve your skills. Once you've fixed the mistake, make sure to secure your work by tying off the thread with a nice, firm knot close to the fabric. Alternatively, you can weave the thread tail under several stitches on the back side to keep it from creating bulk or coming undone. Before you start stitching, always tie a double knot at the thread end to create an anchor. This simple step helps prevent the thread from pulling through the fabric as you work. These techniques, knotting and securing your thread, are key to starting strong and finishing your project neatly, ensuring your stitches stay secure and your work looks professional. When choosing fabrics, it's best to start with beginner-friendly options. I recommend beginning with medium-weight cotton, like quilting cotton, because it's stable, easy to handle, and forgiving if you make a mistake. These fabrics don't slip much and hold stitches well, making your first sewing projects smoother and more enjoyable. Avoid very heavy or very sheer materials, as they can be tricky to work with until you gain more confidence. Stretchy knits and jersey are more forgiving once you're comfortable, but for starters, stick to stable fabrics. Slippery fabrics like satin or silk can be challenging at first, so it's better to save those for later, once you've built your skills. When it comes to thread, cotton thread works perfectly for natural fabrics because it's strong and easy to work with. All-purpose polyester is also a good choice because it's versatile and durable. To make seams less visible, match your thread color to your fabric. But during practice, using contrasting colors can help you see your stitches clearly and improve your technique. Now about the needles. Choose one that glides smoothly through your fabric, doesn't fray excessively, and makes it easy to see where your stitches are placed. A medium-weight cotton needle is a great all-around choice for beginners because it's gentle to handle and produces reliable results. Remember, starting with the right fabric and thread sets a solid foundation for your sewing journey. Now, for the final steps, we're going to sew a button on the front of the pouch using a basic stitch. This not only adds a decorative touch, but also makes the closure functional. To secure it, you can add a thread loop or a snap on the flap, which will help keep everything neatly closed and in place. Adding this closure is a simple way to enhance both the look and usability of your pouch. Once the button and closure are in place, the next step is to turn your pouch right side out. This means flipping it so the good side is visible. After that, we'll use a whip stitch around the inside raw edges to prevent fraying, which keeps your seams neat and durable. Then, fold down the top edge of the pouch and hem it with a slip stitch, giving it a clean, finished look at the opening. Moving on to sewing the sides, you'll use a running stitch along the pinned edges with a 1/4-inch seam allowance. Remember to backstitch at the beginning and end to reinforce the seams. This adds strength and ensures your pouch holds up over time. Finally, if you haven't already, cut out 2 rectangles of cotton fabric, each measuring 6 by 8 inches. Pin them right sides together along 3 edges, leaving one short end open for turning. These steps bring everything together, allowing you to create a practical, stylish fabric pouch, perfect for practicing your new skills and boosting your confidence in sewing. Your completed pouch is more than just a practice project. It's actually proof of how much your sewing skills have grown. Think of it as a tangible achievement that shows your progress. You can use it in lots of practical ways, like storing small items to keep your space tidy. Or, if you're feeling generous, you might gift it to a friend as a handmade present. And if you want to keep a special reminder of your journey, this pouch is perfect for that too. It's a little symbol of where you started and how far you've come in your sewing adventure. Remember, each project like this helps build your confidence and skill, so enjoy your finished pouch as a meaningful milestone. So you're ready to start sewing your very first project. Great! Grab your needle, thread, and fabric and just start stitching. Remember, your creative journey begins with that first stitch, and each one will bring you closer to mastering your craft. Have fun with it, happy sewing. Now, don't worry about mistakes. They're actually some of the most valuable teachers in sewing. Every imperfect stitch teaches you something new about tension, spacing, or technique. Embrace those lessons. They're part of the process and will help you improve over time. Use your new skills for all kinds of things: repairs around the house, thoughtful handmade gifts, unique home decor, or simply expressing yourself through fiber arts. The possibilities are endless when you start applying what you've learned. To really build confidence, try sewing regularly. Even just 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. Consistent practice helps develop muscle memory and makes you more comfortable with your sewing skills. Remember, practice makes progress. The more you sew, the more confident and skilled you'll become. And most importantly, your sewing journey begins right now. So keep stitching, keep learning, and enjoy every step of the way. Your creative adventure is just starting.